What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have a new Star Rupture video for you. We are going over every single limb that is currently in the early access release of Star Rupture. We're going to be going to every single body and showing you what limbs are on those bodies. We're also going to be going into the Forgotten Engine and showing you all the limbs that are available in there as well, so spoilers for that. Let's get into it, shall we? Please keep in mind that this video is subject to change because of the early access of the game. We're going to be going over all the combat limbs, the movement limbs, and survival limbs that are currently in the game. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting at the very bottom of the map, kind of moving east, doing the south portion of the map, and then kind of showing you from that portion the engine up. And then we'll go into the Forgotten Engine and show you those as well. But we are going to be trying to show you every single limb that is currently in the game. It's like 108, 109 something limbs that are currently available in the game. And the reason why you want to have limbs is because you can actually put them into this limb station and you can stack limbs. You can have limbs for you and your friends. You're going to have tons of duplicates of limbs in the game. There are multiple different limbs that are the same, but we're going to show you where they are located at and how to get your hands on them. Also, this is going to be kind of a longer video, so this is going to be completely chaptered out for you down below in the description. Just check out the description if you're looking for a specific type of limb. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the two best locations that you can find in Star Rupture when you first start out, and that's going to be over here at Purple Haze and Lemon Souls. Those are the two best places to find some of the best starter limbs in the game. So the very first place you're going to go to is right here below this little helium that's broken down. There's a body located right here in a PDA, and that's going to have the revive time by 50%. You can revive 50% faster limb. From there, we're going to go ahead and head up into the top portion. And over in this building right here, to the left here, you're going to see that we have a Lifegiver LEM, which is going to give us an HP increase of 25. Over in this building right here, there is another body located right here. And this one is actually going to give you the firearm swap speed by 35%. If you swap firearms a lot, that might be good for you. We're going to go ahead and head up. And go inside the top here. Go down to the very bottom. And this limb right here is actually the Lesser Runner limb. This is for stamina regen by 20%. So this increases your stamina regen by 20%. A really good limb to start off with. And we're going to go back upstairs. I'm going to show you a kind of like a secret limb, which is actually pretty good as well. So if you go back over to the rocks here and jump on top and then double jump over, you'll come up to a body here that gives you a max shield limb of 20. And it's just kind of located right here on the edge. And that is all the bodies that's in Purple Haze. We're going to go ahead and head over towards Lemon Souls and then work on the rest of the bodies around. At Lemon Souls, which is this structure right here, not too far from the beginning, we came from here to over here. You're going to see there's a place called Lemon Souls, and this place right here, this one has a jump limb, so it reduces the double jump cost by 30%. There's also another limb that you want to grab, and it's in that building right there. We're just going to go ahead and jump over. And then this body right here has a max HP by 12 limb. It's a lesser life limb. Just a little bit southwest of the Lemon Souls, there's a body right here up against the rock. And it has a limb on it as well. Sometimes it's hard to loot. And it's the slider limb increases your stamina regen during slides by 35%. We're going to have to wait for a rupture to go inside the cave. So we're just going to save the caves for last. That's in this area. And we're just going to continue down south here to this location right here. Next one we're going to show you is right here, not too far from the orbital lander. It's located right here. And this body is located just right out to open right here. And it is a reduces infection buildup rate by 20% limb, a lesser immuner LEM. The next limb is located right here. Right here is the orbital lander, and it's over here on the east side of that, and it's near this little bit of patch of sulfur here, right above the radiation to the right of this mountain. And this is what it looks like right here. Bunch of red leaves around, and it's located right here. And it reduces dodge cost by 25%, lesser dodger limb. Next one I'm going to show you is not too far from this area right here. It's directly north of Warm Dawn right here, and it's in this little cavern right here, or this little crevasse. What you have to do is you have to double jump and get up in here, or build up in here, and it is a little cave entrance right there on the side. Whenever you get close, you'll see the body like that right there, and then you just kind of jump up in there. And inside here, you're going to notice there's a body glowing, and it is a Fallguy LEM, and it reduces fall damage by 30%. Next one we're going to show you is right here at the heliums, kind of in the central south of the map, not too far from the Wolfram and Titanium. This is a great place to set up for glass, by the way. And this body is located right here in between the two heliums and right here on the ground. And it is increases firearm swap limb by 12%. Lesser swapper limb. Next one I'm going to show you is actually inside of Warm Dawn, and right here on the map, kind of in the center of this little cavern or crevasse right here, and to the right of the orbital lander, located right here. To the left of the large sulfur, and to the right of the small sulfur here, there's lake. But in this area right here, Warm Dawn is what it's called. And it's up top. You just kind of jump up and get up here. You jump up across, go up the ladder, and come over here. And it is reduces fall damage by 20%. It's a lesser Fallguy LEM. Next one I'm going to show you is right here. It's located directly left on the map from Copperfield, and it is right here on the map from the orbital lander right there. And it is underneath this little rock-looking thing. And it's right here, and it is called increase all consumable stats by 20%. It's a lesser Glutton LEM. The next place I'm going to show you is Copperfield. Copperfield has quite a few bodies, actually. It's got 4, and just keep in mind there are Goliaths and large amounts of enemies here. But Copperfield, of course, it's located right there, kind of in the middle of the map in the south right here. So there's one right here, and this building right here, it's kind of like on the north part of the map. And it's actually outside the building right here, and it's called reduces toxicity intake by 45%, a greater Detoxifier LEM. Then there's one in this building over here, not too far from it, and in the second floor here, we're going to see increased stamina regen during slide by 35%, lesser slider LEM. Then we're going to go ahead and head over to the south part of Copperfield and show you from there. There's another body right here, and you can see it on the map whenever you get close to it, and it's reduces natural calorie loss by 18%. It's a Dietician LEM. And then from that body right there, we're just going to kind of head directly west, double jump up top here, and there should be a body up top here in the window. And it has a reduced fall damage by 20%, so that's a lesser Fallguy LEM. And it was located right here. So there's 4 bodies over here at Copperfield that you can get, and their limbs. Down south of Copperfield and kind of to the west a little bit, right here on the edge of the radiation, and not too far from the orbital lander, is Strawberry. It is a point of interest, and there is a body right here in the middle of it that has increased max stamina by 30, lesser Endurancegiver LEM. We're getting ready to have a rupture, so we're going to go ahead and backtrack a little bit and show you some of the caves real quick while we have the time to do so. Tucked in the very bottom of this cave, just kind of coming around the edge. These caves are pretty easy to navigate, so I'm not going to really explain where they are inside the caves. But there is a lesser swapper LEM, which increases firearm swap speed by 12%. That is located right here at this cave, not too far from the spawn, kind of north of it. And this cave right here in this red portion of the map is directly east of the orbital lander, located a little bit south of this little sulfur deposit here and south of Warm Dawn. There's a underground cave right here, and you just kind of go around the edge, and it has a reduces shield recharge delay by 40%. That actually means that the shield will start recharging about 40% faster after your shield gets damaged. So that's Shieldfixer LEM. Located kind of just southwest of the engine is this little cave right here, kind of tucked away, and it has a body in the bottom of it that has a increases max stamina by 30. That is a lesser Endurancegiver LEM. Inside this cave right here, that's kind of in the southeastern part of the map. It looks like just directly below the spored rock, located right here. It's kind of a little bit west of these 3 nodes here for helium. And there is a body in the cave. You just go around and jump up through a kind of like a hidden hole there. And it gives you a reduces dodge cost by 60%. That is a greater dodge LEM. And not too far from the other one right there, it is down south, pretty much all the way southeast in the very bottom corner. You're going to see there is another little cave here with a body, and this was a Deatheater LEM. Reduces resource, combat, and consumable type item loss on death by 15%. It reduces you losing those items on death by 15%, which is pretty good actually. Kind of here in the central southern part of the map, right below Copperfield, there's another body right here, kind of on the edge of the radiation. And it's right here in a bunch of these red flowers or red ferns, whatever they're called. And it increases harvester mining damage by 8%, means you mine stuff faster. It's called a lesser miner LEM. Located just a little bit southwest of the spored rock, there's a body right here. It's not too far. It's kind of easy to miss, to be honest with you. It's near a bunch of these little ferns or red plants, whatever they're called. And it's located right here. When you get close to it, you'll see it. But it increases the fog of war area uncovered by 15%. And that's a lesser Infiltrator LEM. All the way on the southeastern side of the map, kind of on the bottom of the turquoise river thing here that looks like this right here, there's a hidden body kind of inside of one of these little rock formations. And it gives you a lesser fixer LEM, which reduces the tool cooldown by 12%. And at the north of the little turquoise river thing, there is a place called Chromatic Tomorrow. There it is. And there is a body in the very bottom of Chromatic Tomorrow right here. There's 2 of them, but this one right here has a LEM that has a reduced tool cooldown by 12%. It's a lesser fixer LEM. Right here on the map, kind of not too far from a monolith, there is going to be in this little wolfram ore right here. It's a little bit northwest of this little wolfram ore, and it's south of the final spot right here, which we're going to get to. But there's a little body right here. It looks like a little, I don't know, it looks kind of like a meteorite struck, but right there's a monolith, and right there is a body. And this body right here has the increased item drop chance about 40%. So it's a greater Scalper LEM. Right here on the northeastern side of the map, back away in this little cubby right here, is called the final spot. There's 2 bodies here we're going to show you just real quick. One's right here located next to a solar panel in the building right there. And it has a reduced revive time by 20%. This is a lesser Ressurecter LEM. And then we have another body just kind of a little bit east of that one over here in the water. We'll show you where that is. And when you get close to this little ring of plants right here, not too far from that satellite and not too far from the actual building itself, there's a body right here in the middle. And it has a increased max HP by 12. That's a lesser Lifegiver LEM. Right here at this little sulfur strip that's directly south of the engine is right here on the side of the cliff, not down in the sulfur, but it is down here on the side of the cliff. Drop down and you will see a body right here. It is the reduces infection buildup rate by 30%, the Immuner LEM, just like directly south of the engine. There's like a little rock area right here, and it's north of the empty sleeve. And right here around the satellite and in between these rocks here, we have a body right here, and it is a lesser companion limb. This reduces the damage dealt and received from friendly fire by 20%. We are currently located directly south of the engine, and right here at the empty sleeve. This is probably one of the better limbs in the game. It's an Endurancegiver LEM, increases your max stamina by 50%. That is really good. There are two buildings actually located right here, and it's in the very top of the left one right here. And in the building across from it, the right building, you're going to notice there's another body in here as well, and it gives the increased aim speed by 20%, the lesser aimer LEM. Just a little bit southwest of the empty sleeve is a body right here. Looks like some kind of prod rock kind of looking thing, and it's not too far from the empty sleeve. Up in this little cavern here, when you get close to it, you'll see the body on the map. But it's kind of tucked in here, hidden away, and it gives you a max shield of 20. That is a lesser Shieldgiver LEM. Over here on the eastern side of the map, all the way over east, and at this place called Spored Rock, which we've mentioned probably before, or maybe haven't. Down in this little crevice right here, you're going to see a body, and it gives you a lesser Dietician LEM. It reduces your natural calorie loss by 10%. And there's going to be 3 bodies located right here at next step, which is right next to the engine. And we're going to show you the body right here in the center first, since it's closest to us. Right underneath here. Right there. And it's going to give you a lesser Airjumper LEM, which reduces the double jump cost by 20%. Then we're going to go ahead and head over here to the north part. And this one's over here is inside of like a little dish. You got to go underneath. Took me a minute to actually find this one. So right there's the dish. You got to go underneath it. And the body's in here. And this one gives you a lesser reloader LEM, which increases the reload speed by 14%. And then the final LEM is kind of over here on the edge up on that hill. And this one's a little hard to see, but it's up here on top of a ledge. You just kind of got to double jump and get up here. And it's located right there on the map. Not too far from a satellite that's up on the hill. And just got to access this body here, and it'll give you the lesser Airjumper LEM, which reduces double jump cost by 20%. Next place we're going to go to is kind of east of the engine, and it's going to be right here at this place called Gray Owl. There are 3 bodies here with limbs. The very first one is right underneath this little tubing right here, and this little crevice. This body right here gives an increased fog of war area uncovered by the player by 25%, Infiltrator LEM. That's a really great one if you're trying to discover the map. The next one's in this little half building. There are some stairs here. You just come up here. Just be careful. This place is an infection unless you knock out all the blue little bulbs on the side of the building. But kind of jump across here, and there's a body right here. This will give you the Glutton LEM, increases all consumable stats by 35%. And then a little bit further up the way here, you got to double jump up these stairs and jump across these little platforms right here. Go all the way up top of this little tower right here. You'll see another body, and this will give you the lesser Ressurecter LEM, which reduces heat, corrosion, and drain buildup raised by 20%. That's a really good LEM, actually. And this little cave right here, you have to go during a ruptura. Directly south of the engine here, there's a little cave right here with a body in it. And this body does have the greater aimer LEM, which increases your aim speed by 50%. Just a little bit west of the engine here, we have 2 caves here. We're going to go to the southern one here first. The southern one cave has this body right here, which has the companion LEM, reduces damage dealt and received by friendly fire by 35%. And in the northern cave right here, this body right here does have the lesser Ressurecter LEM, which reduces the revive time by 20%. The next body is going to be directly west of the engine here, and a little bit above these little tubes right here, right on the side of a cliff right here. And we're going to have the lesser Detoxifier LEM, which reduces toxicity intake by 20%. Next one's going to be on the side of the cliff right here, just a little bit east of this large sulfur field. and north of the engine here. And on this body, we're going to find a Swapper LEM, which increases firearm swap speed by 20%. And the next one's going to be inside the sulfur field right here, next to this little tree right here. Inside of the sulfur field right here on the map, you're going to see a body that's kind of inside that. And you're going to see a lesser Irrigator LEM, which reduces the natural hydration loss by 12%. The next two you're going to find right here near Little Cloud. That's in the middle of the map here, directly west of the engine and south of the large sulfur deposit. And underneath this little plateau or platform right here, you're going to find a body with a greater immuner LEM, which reduces the infection buildup rate by 45%. South of Little Cloud and directly west of the engine right here in this little sulfur field, there's a body right in between these little roots and stuff right here. We're going to run in here real quick and grab it. And it's a lesser immune LEM, reduces infection buildup rate by 20%. Directly west of that little sulfur field and of the engine right here, and next to this calcium deposit, there is a body right here. There's actually several bodies here, but the only one that actually matters is this one right here. It gives you a lesser Lifegiver LEM, which increases max health by 12. Directly south of Mythic Cry, you're going to notice there's a body right here. It's kind of tucked in the middle of this these rocks and stuff right here, and it is directly west of that sulfur field right there, and of course the engine, kind of north of the main starting zone right here. But it is located right here, and it has a greater Airjumper LEM, reduces double jump cost by 40%, so it's a greater LEM. Directly southeast of Mythic Cry, we have a LEM right here. It's kind of like next to the red grass. There's also one over there, but we'll have to go when there's a rupture. But this body right here has a Scalper LEM, and it increases the item drop chance by 25%. Next one's going to be at Mythic Cry, and that is located kind of, well, it's kind of Midwest-ish, something like that. And right here's the starter zone. It's kind of north of the starter zone right here. Is actually over here underneath. And you go into the very back of the area here, this way. And there's a body right here. And it has a lesser resistor LEM, which reduces heat, corrosion, and drain buildup by 20%, which is actually pretty nice. The next body is located right here. It's directly west, completely west, center, like almost central west, right here. It is directly west of Mythic Cry, and actually north of Faithgate, which we're going to next. But this one is in sulfur. You will have to either rush in there real quick and then rush out, or wait till a rupture. But we're going to show you real quick where it is. We're just going to rush in there real quick. Right here's the body, and it'll give you a lesser immuner LEM, reduces infection buildup rate by 20%. The next body is directly north of Faithgate, right here on the edge of the radiation. And this is where it's located at. There's a bunch of trees and stuff around here. And right here is the body. And it will give you a lesser Shieldfixer LEM, which reduces shield recharge delay by 25%. The next one's over here at Faithgate, and it's just kind of in this little building right here. There's a building you can jump across and get to, and then there's a ladder here. And up top, there's a body, and that has a lesser Irrigator LEM, which reduces natural hydration by 12%. Next one we have is right here in the middle of this little field, south of this little sulfur deposit. It's kind of central. It's a little bit east, kind of northeast of Faithgate. Rupture has to happen for you go into this cave. But in this cave, you're going to see a lesser Deatheater LEM, which reduces the resource, combat, and consumable type item loss on death by 5%. Located right here a little bit north of this deposit right here, and of course north of Faithgate, a little bit west of Mythic Cry. We have right here tucked away, there's a cave, and this one has a dead body in it that has a greater Reprinter LEM, which increases health, hydration, and calorie levels after respawn by 200%. Right here, directly northwest of Gray Owl, is a little cave, underground cave right here. It's kind of south of this Wolfram and this calcium deposit right here, and it has a Aimer LEM, which increases aim speed by 35%. The next one is actually directly north of Mythic City, and it is right here. There's a big old large flat area here, and there's a bunch of titaniums and stuff around. It's located right here. It's not too far from that giant field. You can see that giant field. If you zoom in real good right here, it's a little bit north of this titanium right here. And this body right here does have a max health of 20, so you get extra 20 HP. It's called the Lifegiver LEM. Next body is going to be located right here to the right of this underground cave. Not too far from that last one right there, but it's located pretty much in the northwest part of the map. Right here. And it's not too far away from all these little trees and stuff, little grubber trees. And it's located right here on the ground. Kind of on the edge. And it gives you a lesser dodger LEM, which reduces dodge cost by 25%. Next one's going to be located right here on the map, pretty much northwest again. It is directly west of Starry Night, right here. And it's located right here. It's right in the middle of like a crevasse here. And there's a bunch of red flowers here. And right here's the dead body. And it gives you a Swapper LEM, which increases the firearm swap speed by 20%. And the next place is going to be a point of interest called Starry Night. In the sulfur deposit right here, you don't have to go here after rupture or anything. The sulfur doesn't actually attack you. And it's pretty much northwest right here. About in the center, actually. It's called Starry Night, and it's right here. You have to kind of drop down into this little crevasse here. And there's a blueprint here, as well as a body. That body will give you a Shieldgiver LEM, which increases your max shield by 30, which is really good. The next one's going to be directly north of this large sulfur deposit and north of Little Cloud. And it's going to be located right in here. There's like a little crevice or crevasse right here. And you go into it. There's a monolith here. And I think there were some more bodies around, but I've already looted them. If they didn't have a LEM on them, I didn't actually, keep them on the map. But right up in here, there's a body. And this one does have a LEM on it. And the LEM is the lesser Fallguy LEM, which reduces fall damage by 20%. The next one's going to be located right here to the west of these little red fields. There's really not really a POI near it. It's pretty much north of Starry Night and located north of these little titanium deposits right here on the map. Up on this little cliff here, it's kind of tucked away here on the side of the cliff. And this one does have a lesser Scalper LEM, which increases the drop rate chance by 15%. All the way up north on the western side of the map, we have this little body right here. And this body right here, it is located right in the middle of a gigantic red flower field. And it's right here in the middle. It's really hard to actually find. It's right here in the middle, not too far from a monolith right there. And it is a lesser Detoxifier LEM, reduces toxicity intake by 20%. The next one is on the very south part of the little red lake here. And it's a little bit south of Redleaf, located right here. There's a bunch of little rock formations and stuff around, and there's a satellite not too far right here in the middle of the water. And it's a lesser Dodger LEM, which reduces the dodge cost by 25%. The next one is directly west of Redleaf, and it's right here in this little red pond. There's like a little red pond all by itself, right in the middle of it here. PDA, and there is a LEM. It's the greater Reprinter LEM, which increases health, hydration, and calorie levels after respawn by 200%. There are two little underground caves all the way up north, kind of on the eastern side of the northern part of the map here. And it's giving a lesser Lifegiver LEM, which increases max health by 15. The next one is directly east of the satellite. Right here's the satellite, and right here it is. There's a sulfur deposit right here. And right at the very beginning of the sulfur deposit, there is a lesser Airjumper LEM, which reduces double jump cost by 20%. The next place we're going to be searching is Liquid Luck. directly south of the satellite right here. There's two bodies here. There's one right here kind of in the middle, which is right here next to this little, I don't know, whatever this is. And it's a minor limb, increases harvester mining damage by 15%. And the other one is just directly east of it, right here. There's a little bit of red flowers around. And you'll go up to it and loot it, and then it gives you the runner limb, which increases stamina regen by 35%. Which that is pretty good, actually. So we're going to go over Red Leaf. Red Leaf is quite a different creature. You have to get 3 key cards. One right here in the middle where the 5-stack building is, or 3-stack building is, whatever. And then you have to get one here, one down south, and one right here. So there are 3 different key cards you have to get. Very first body we're going to go over is in the very first building here. This is all the way up north, and it's located right here. It is a Ressurecter LEM, which reduces revive time by 35%. We're going to go ahead and head south from there. There's another body where you get the red key card. We've already got it already, but it's located in this little building next to the like 5-stacked building right there. It does have a limb in it with a greater slide limb, which increases stamina regen during slide by 70%. And we're going to go over this way. Kind of show you some of these bodies over this direction. Heading west. There should be another body and key card inside of this building right here. And the limb for this body is a lesser Deatheater LEM. Reduces resource, combat, and consumable type item loss on death by 5%. There's also a key card up on the desk right here, which is the last one for us, of course. On the way to the south building, which is that one right there, there's actually a body off here to the left that has a limb on it. And that is the Greater Companion LEM. Reduces damage dealt and received from friendly fire by 50%. Inside this building right here, you're going to be able to open up the door and go up top. There's actually a key card right here. That's your 3rd key card. Now we're going to show you the body. There's a body right here in the bottom that is a Reprinter LEM. Increases health, hydration, and calorie levels after respawn by 150%. Once you go into this door with 3 key cards, you can shut it back if you want. And inside here in the main area, there's some nice blueprints here, which we did in our blueprint video. And then this body here has the lesser Scalper LEM. Increases item drop chance by 15%. We have to go during a rupture, but this cave right here, which is directly east of Red Leaf, right here, there's a body in here that has a lesser Infiltrator LEM. Increases the fog of war area uncovered by 15%. There's one here that looks like it's in the radiation, but it's really not. We're not getting radiation when we're here, and it's all the way over here in the northwest, which is kind of a little bit above Starry Night. And this one right here has the lesser Reprinter LEM. Increases health, hydration, and calorie levels after respawn by 100%. And with enough braveness or brass, you can actually get this dead body right here. But it is in the radiation, and you might want to save before you do so. But if you run really fast into the radiation, there's a Fallguy LEM right here that you can loot. Fall damage by 30%. Like I said, that one's kind of risky, so I don't know if I'd do it or not. And we have one right here in the cave, not too far south of this little helium deposit here, all the way up in the northwest side of the map. And it's, of course, west of Red Leaf here, north of Starry Night in this cave. And we have the Fixer LEM, which reduces tool cooldown by 25%. And that is everybody that I see currently on the early access release of Star Rupture so far on the outside. We'd still got to go into the engine. There's no body here, actually, even though it says there's a body, and I cannot find it. I've looked for 30 minutes or more. So now we're going to go over all the limbs that are inside of the great engine. And there's a few of them. First one we're going to find is right here across from Staircase North. And it's right here located at the disk storage. Inside the disk storage, there's a box here. And it is the Lifegiver LEM. Increases max health by 25. Survival LEM. And of course, it's on floor 0. or level 0. And the next one we found is on the logistics floor, and that is -2. And if you go straight through here, you're going to be coming up to a place here to the right. The restrooms. Go through here, and there's a body actually inside of this. And it has a lesser Glutton LEM, which increases all consumable stats by 20%. And from that location, if you keep going down the hallway here, go through this door right here, and go into the IRO office, there's 2 limbs in here, actually. One's on this body, which I actually already looted by accident, which is the Fixer LEM. Reduces the tool cooldown by 40%. There's also audio comm there. And we have another storage box over here with the Shieldgiver LEM, which increases your max shield by 30. The next one that you see is going to be here at the backup generator. Just go towards the backup generator and the cooling station right here. And to the right here, we're going to go through this door and head towards the backup generator. And just kind of be careful in here. You won't have a shield because of the infection. But on this body right here, which I've actually already looted, we're going to get a lesser reloader LEM, which increases reload speed by 14%. In the main engine area, floor 0, in the control room, we're going to show you probably one of the best LEMs in the game, I think, in my opinion, at least. Right here in the control center. If you go into this area and loot this body right here, you get a max stamina. It's a greater endurance. It's a greater Endurancegiver LEM, and it increases your max stamina by 80, which is really good. Next thing I'm going to show you is here at the tech stations. It is at the 2 level, and it is over here at the staircase north. You can get to it from staircase north. Just kind of go in here, and we're going to go to the lab. Located right here, the tech lab. And there's a body right here that has a LEM on it. It's the Shieldfixer LEM, reduces shield recharge delay by 40%. From the tech lab, we're going to go ahead and head to the right of it. And there's going to be a way to get through. You have to go through here to open this door right here. We'll just show you this way. Go through this way, then you can open that door. Go to the right. To the left of the server room, which has some loot in it. There's going to be at the very end of this hallway a malfunctioning door. And the way you open it is you go through the storage bay. You can loot all the storage bay. There's actually some boxes that have valuable items for you to craft. Go on the opposite side of this. There's going to be a little door right here. There's going to be a little bubble on it. You can pop that bubble and it'll open that door. And that happens in a lot of rooms in this place. But all you have to do is pop that bubble, open this door, and then you can access this body right here. And it has a Dodger LEM. It reduces dodge cost by 40%. And the final LEM that you're going to find is after you activate the engine and beat the early access there and get the teleporter. You're going to find a greater miner LEM, which is going to increase your harvesting mining damage by 25%. So you just got to access this little thing right here in the middle to access that. And that should be every single LEM inside of the Forgotten Engine. So that is all 8 current LEMs that are from the Forgotten Engine. And of course, all the environmental or LEMs that you find out in the environment. And there's quite a few of them, actually. Very nice. Now, it'd be silly not to mention that there are LEMs that are available whenever you upgrade your reputation with the corporations as well. Like this greater mining LEM, you can get another one of those for level 5 with Selenian. And then at a level 11 with the Selenian Corporation, you can get the greater Endurance LEM, which is max stamina by 80, and the greater life giving, which is max health by 40. And on this save, I haven't unlocked them yet, but there are also LEMs for the future health solutions, like the Dietician LEM and the lesser Irrigator LEM, which reduces natural hydration loss by 12%. Going down a little ways, you also have the Dietician LEM, which reduces the natural calorie loss by 18%, and the Irrigator LEM, which reduces your natural hydration loss by 20%, the Ressurecter LEM, which reduces heat corrosion and drain buildup rate by 35%. That's a pretty good LEM, actually. And then the final 2 LEMs and health solutions, which will give you reduced hydration loss by 30% with the greater Irrigator LEM and the greater Dietician LEM, which is the same thing for calories loss reduced by 25%. With the Griffiths Blue Corporation, at the very bottom here we have the Shieldgiver LEM, which increases your max shield by 40%, the greater Shieldgiver LEM, and also the greater Lifegiver LEM, which increases your health by 30%. And under the Moon Energy Corporation, level 4 gives you that Infiltrator LEM, which we had already, but increases the fog of war area uncovered by 15%. And of course, at the very bottom here, we have the greater Infiltrator LEM, which is 45% of the fog of war uncovered by the player. And those are all the LEMs you can get with Reputation with the corporations. And that is the 108 LEMs that I have found in the game so far in this early access release of Star Rupture. I'm sure they're going to add more. If they do, we're going to make another video with those LEMs as well. Please like, comment, subscribe. We have put hours and hours into this video for us to show you where every single LEM is and go and loot literally every single body in the game. And hopefully, we'll see you next time. Peace.